I know, you know, the Euporia Ash of War is pretty beautiful, but let's be honest, the damage sucks. Because of that, I decided to create a build that uses Euphoria, but the goal here is to have the best damage possible. And man, when I'm talking about damage, I'm talking about holy damage. I think you already get the idea. The build created is inspired by the famous Bleeding Twin Blades build, where we use power stance attacks with jumping. The advantage here is that our damage is raw, we do not depend on applying bleeding to cause massive damage. And better than that, your gameplay can be more versatile. As it is a faith build, you will have access to practically all of the incantations of the game to use them freely on your journey. If an enemy happens to be resistant to holy damage, simply use ideal element incantations against him. For the weapons, we are using the Euphoria and the Sacred Black Steel with the Sacred Blade Ash of War that imbue our weapon with holy damage that increases more and more our attack power for this weapon, and also the Erdtree seal to use the incantations once have the best in scaling based on faith. For the equipment, we are using the Horned Warrior Helm that gives us 5 points on strength, the Graved Bird's Black Quill that increases 10% damage for our jump attacks, the Fire Prelate Gauntlets, and also the Bugled Greaves. For the talismans, we are using the Sacred Scorpion Charm to increase the holy damage once we have 2 weapons using that element. We also have the Claw Talisman that give us more damage for jump attacks, the Millicent's Prosthesis, and also the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, both to increase our attack power with successive attacks. Finally, for the Flask of Wondrous Physique, we are using the Thorny Cracketeer and the Holy Shroud Cracketeer to boost this even more our successive attack power and holy attacks. For status at level 150, you have 50 Vigor, Mind 21. If you want to use more incantations freely, I recommend to you level up a little bit more and put more mind just to not have any problem with mana. We have endurance at 34. This build actually consumes a lot of stamina, so if you are struggling with that, you can also increase a little bit more at your taste. For the strength, we are using 13, that because our helmet gives more 5 points, and this is necessary to use our weapons. And for dexterity, the same thing, we are using 11 points on dexterity once we have the prosthesis that gives 5 plus. And finally, we have faith in the hard cap of 80 to get the best boost of attack power and also damage for your incantations. The gameplay of this build is pretty straightforward. You just jump attack, jump attack, jump attack. Whatever enemy you are dealing with, they will gonna die for this. You can use normal attacks, and even the Ash of War of Euphoria is not that strong, but against normal enemies in the exploration in the entire game, they are strong enough to deal with them. I truly do not recommend to use against bosses. I tried a lot of things, even when you stun the enemies, the damage is not that good. Feel free to use it when you want. About the incantations, for damage, you have access to almost all of them in the game once you have 80 faith. So the only recommendation here is pay attention about the enemy resistances to select the correct elements to counter him, especially if they have a huge resistance for holy damage. To deal with the hard enemies and the bosses in the game, you should follow those steps of buffs. First of all, you should use your Wondrous Physique, followed by the Golden Vow, and then you need to choose between Flame Grant Me Strength or Hall of Shabriri, remembering that Shabriri gives you more damage output, but at the same time reduces your damage negation, so choose whatever you think it's better for each situation. And finally, you equip the Sacred Black Steel with both hands to use the Sacred Blade and imbue your weapon with more holy damage, and you are ready to destroy everything in this game. I'm starting to produce content for this channel now, so I need your recognition for my work, especially when it comes to an original build like this. Before more channels do something similar, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me a lot. Thank you.